Let's tackle a word problem based on this kind of idea. So this is example number 3, where two people are looking at saving up some money. Ava has $24.25 and is saving $5.50 a week. Elaine has $35.50 and is saving $4.25 per week. In how many weeks from now will they have the same amount of money? So first and foremost, for a word-based problem, look at that question and just see what exactly we're trying to solve for. We're trying to solve for how many weeks. And perhaps the W would be appropriate then for the variable, for how many weeks we're looking at, for them to have the same amount of money. So take a look at what we have here. Ava has 24.25 and is saving something per week. One of these values is not changing. Looks like this one isn't changing. This one varies. Elaine has an amount that's not changing, and this one varies. Obviously, determining the number of weeks we have is how much we need to work with for Elaine and Eva to find out what's going on with this value right here. So now we look at then, let's set up. Let's identify the variable. I think we already said that W be the number of weeks from now, or let the number of weeks from now be W. So what does it look like for Ava? Part 2 of our solution is to list. In W weeks, Ava will have $24.25, that's what she already has to begin with, plus $5.50 for every week that we're looking for. In other words, 550 times W. And then for Elaine, he already has $35.50, that's a constant, and that's added to $4.25 per week, or 4.25 times W. In other words, folks, 550 is a coefficient for Ava, 425 is a coefficient for Elaine. So that's our setup, at least for the amount of money Ava and Elaine will have after W weeks. Now we know also one more thing. We're looking for the same amount of money between Ava and Elaine. Looks like Ava starts off lower, but she has more dollars per week in her setup. Because Elaine has a higher amount to start with, but he's making a little bit less per week than Ava. So I think it makes sense that even though Elaine starts off higher, he's increasing slower. And because Ava's starting off slower and increasing at a faster rate, they should be meeting up sometime down the road. So what does that look like now? Let's set up the equation for equal amount of money. Ava should be on the left, Elaine should be on the right. And there it is. Let's get rid of the dollar signs to make it simpler for ourselves. 24.25 plus 550 W is equal to 35.50 plus 425 W. Let's do that solution and check the equation. And grade 9s, yes, we have decimal values, but the format, the strategies should not change. So we want to do the collection of like terms next. And let's move that variable over to one side. So it looks like this is a greater coefficient on the left side. How about we move this guy over to here? And how do we do that? We subtract 4.25W from the right. Whatever you do to the right, got to do it to the left. And so if we clean that up a little bit, we now have this is 0. This is a 0 pair. We're now left with, on this side, 550 minus 425. That's 125W. The constant hasn't changed. That stays the same. But now we want to gather the like term constants to one side. Here's your lonely number. Let's push that over to this side. How do you do that? You stop the video now if you want to think about this, but otherwise, you subtract 24.25 from this side, and whatever you do to the left, you gotta do it to the right. Let's clean that up. This is a 0 pair. It adds to 0, and nothing left over for the constants. However, this W value still stays the same, and this one here, constant minus a constant, 11.25 is what remains. What happens next, grade 9s? One more thing. There's a coefficient in front of a variable. Only one step whenever you have a coefficient in front of a variable, and that is correct divide by the coefficient. So we're now going to divide by 1.25 and do that to both sides. A number divided by itself is always equal to 1, except for when that number is 0. So there's just one more w left over. That's the w there. Take the right-hand side constant divided by another constant. W is equal to 9. You're not done. This is a word-based problem. So you need to give a final answer for this. And the answer is, in 9 weeks, they will have the same amount of money, or they will have the same amount of money 9 weeks from now.